Hello, YouTube. Callidus Gamer here with another Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate. Now, it's been a while since I posted a video of Chaos Gate, and the reason why is because I kind of got a little stuck in the later game, and I realized that I haven't upgraded my Callidus Assassin. So I decided to go back and redo some of the walkthrough, especially in the very beginning when you get the assassins, because the Callidus assassin, believe it or not, in this game she is kind of overpowered if you know how to use her correctly. The Callidus assassin on paper, she's kind of weak, but trust me, in early game she is super powerful if you know how to use her right. And if you know how to use her right, she becomes a one-woman army. No joke. Her by herself, she could wipe out an enemy squad with one turn, and you could advance your forces, your Grey forces, up to catch up with her. But you have to set her up, use her right, and when the enemy is in the shadows, that's where you have to do the sneak attack, and she gets refunded with AP, which that's something I learned the hard way about this game. That AP is basically king in this game, and what you want is build a loadout for each of your Grey Knights or each of your units, basically all your units, where they could generate AP. If they could regenerate AP, then you have basically the best loadout for your squad. And now, the Callidus Assassin, she is no exception. She could absolutely regenerate AP, but again, you have to use her correctly because there are two phases in this game during the game itself. It's basically the first phase is basically walking phase. That's how it's called, I think. But the second phase, that's when it's initiate combat phase, and then you get like a little cinematic where the enemy is trying to set themselves up and get ready to destroy your squad. Now the Callidus Assassin, she is able to infiltrate, go behind enemy lines, and be in the basically out of line of sight in the shadows where the enemy cannot see you, and vice versa, where you cannot see the enemy but you know where the enemy is at in terms of having an idea where the enemy is. Because they do get highlighted in the shadow, but still, when they're in the shadow, you can't really do anything against them. But the Callidus says it can. However, it does not, how do I say this, light them up when she's an infiltrator. So you guys will know what I mean when I say like she's infiltrated, she goes to the shadow, and she does not light them up until she attacks. But of course, her attacks has to be regular attacks. She does have special attacks where she's still infiltrated and it does not break her disguise. But the moment when you do a regular attack, she basically breaks her disguise and then she's brought into the light. And of course, we're bringing the enemy to the light, which you can see in gameplay here, where I attempted to go behind enemy lines, but for some reason, the game made the enemy brought into the light, and then I'm like, darn it. So I gotta basically come up with a strategy along the way, basically adapt to the situation. And that's another thing why I love the Callidus Assassin. Aside from being a sexy woman in a black skin tight suit, she is very adaptable, hence the name Callidus. In case if you guys don't know, Callidus in Latin is a Latin word for being sly, smart, and adaptive. And that's what the Callidus Assassin is all about. Her only weakness is low health, especially in comparison with the other assassin. Matter of fact, out of all the assassins, she is considered the weakest in terms of health and durability. Even the Vindicare assassin, which is a sniper assassin, he has more health, potential health, than the Callidus, even with fully upgraded armor. So even if you like upgrade the Callidus in terms of armor, she is still weaker than the sniper. And no joke, the other assassins, they're more tankier, especially both the Evisor. Evisor has very high health, And Callidus Assassin, she has special abilities where she gains a lot of armor and shields. But Vindicare, he has special armor where he could regenerate, hence making him a little more tankier and survivable. But the Callidus has none of that. She does get a little health buff, but the health buff is not that significant in comparison to the other assassin, making her the weakest and most vulnerable assassin out of all the other assassins. But what I love about her is that if you use her right, hence the name Callidus, she absolutely shines, especially in early game. And like I said, she could be a one-woman army. The downside of her is that in late game, she starts to fall off. And then once again, you have to adapt. Then that's where you have to basically use her as a hit and run unit. But in early games, especially when you barely starting to play this game, barely doing the walkthrough, in the early game, she absolutely destroyed every squad. And no joke, guys, I had a game where I got the achievement Bloodless, where basically none of your units get any damage at all. I repeat, any damage at all. Just by using the Callidus Assassin, where she basically infiltrate, moves forward, and then she destroys the entire enemy squad. Matter of fact, she destroys almost every squad that she encounters on her turn and one turn alone. So yeah, she is overpowered, especially early games. But in late game, she starts to fall off, and then that's where you have to essentially invest with the other units and of course the other assassin, especially the Callidus Assassin. Callidus Assassin, which is the anti-psyker assassin, she absolutely dominates in late game. Matter of fact, I think she's the most overpowered assassin in late game. So strongly recommend to pick her up when you have enough resources. But the Callidus Assassin, hence why I named my YouTube channel after this assassin. I really love her. I'm, you could say, a huge fan of this assassin. The only assassin that I'm even more a fan of is the Callidus because of the anti-psyker. But the Callidus, she's essentially like the Mystique from X-Men in Warhammer 40k and TF2 Spy. If you guys think about it, TF2 Spy is literally almost like an inspiration of Callidus Assassin, or should I say the other way around, but still. Think about it, guys. TF2 Spy has a knife, just like the Callidus, and TF2 Spy also has a pistol, just like the Callidus. They go behind enemy lines and they assume the enemy team disguise, just like the Callidus Assassin. So TF2 Spy and Callidus Assassin has a lot in common if you guys think about it. But yeah, basically what I'm gonna do, especially in the next video when I feature this assassin, is do a recommendation of what loadout you should get for her. As I stated, since I'm kind of thinking about it, the number one thing you want in the Callidus Assassin loadout in this game is have the armor where she regenerates AP. And in this game, there's 2 armor that regenerates AP action points that will help her to be absolutely a beast in this game. And of course, upgrade her pistol where she does more damage against organic unit. Now, what's interesting is this game is very lore accurate. And the reason why I say interesting is because in the lore, the Callidus Assassin, she's absolutely deadly against any human, heretics, space marine enemies. But when it comes to demons, she struggles heavily. In matter of fact, there was this lore story where the Callidus Assassin tried to kill a demon, but the demon, it was too powerful, and the demon ended up skinning her alive, which, ooh, a very gruesome death. But in the lore, it did stated that the Callidus Assassin, while she is very powerful against normal heretics and enemies of the Imperium, or should I say organic enemies, she does struggle against demons. And in this game, it kind of shows it where she specializes against organic enemies, not demons. The demons, you have to basically invest in the Grey Knights or the Callidus Assassin, which once again anti-psyker, so she absolutely specialized in fighting against demons. But the Callidus, she would struggle against demons, but once again, you can basically diversify your squad, where the squad is able to handle the demons, while the Callidus could handle the heretics and Chaos Space Marines. But yeah, in the next video, I'm gonna, showcase how to make the Callidus Assassin loadout correctly and showcase how to use her properly. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the rest of the gameplay. But please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and more importantly, I'd love to hear which is your favorite assassin. For me, I still like the Callidus Assassin, but the Callidus Assassin, I would definitely say she is starting to grow on me. I really love this sexy woman in a skin tight black suit that's able to shapeshift at will and assume other people's identity, and all she does is strike when no one is looking, which is very lethal, sexy and lethal. Well, guys, I'm gonna end it here and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Callidus Gamer, over and out.
Must reload.
I am here to serve. Vengeance! Storm. With the light. I must refocus, Commander. Feel the bite of my sword!
Judgment. Another devil down. The purest venom. Kneel and be judged. A just end.
Repositioning.
You cannot harm me.
Where to?
Excellent work, Commander. Withdraw your forces. Our initiates can tend to the leftover filth.
A well-deserved death.
You serve the Emperor well, Commander. We should study this seed at once.